unfold, it was over. And for them to come back, it was like that slow crawl. Like a lot of times, and I think we have this same discussion when we talk about the Super Bowl, that offensive line of the Bengals is something to be desired, but the athletic prowess, the things Joe Burrow can do, it blew my mind. Like, we can say Patrick Mahomes sucked. He did suck. Andy Reid sucked. That whole Kansas City thing sucked because they thought they were so much better than the other team. So the team who was creeping up, who was making plays, found a way to win. And I think all of us love a kind of game like that, where a team may be down, a team may not be better than the other side of the football, but finds a way to do it. And you know what? The caveat to this playoffs, and I don't know what you guys think, but I think the team that found a way to do it the best won every game. And that happened to be the underdog Bengals. I find it amazing. And I think that, all this other talk about anything else, we're leaving it at the table. And that AFC Championship game was by far one of the, if not the best game I've ever seen. I mean, how many people turned it off? I want to know that. We see the Nielsen ratings about how many people watched it, but how many people turned it off? How many people turned it off and didn't see the end of it?
I'm not going to lie.
To me, that's just unbelievable.
Jonathan, what you got? What you got for me?
Look, the Chiefs blew it badly. They played poorly in the second half. They didn't execute in the second half. They got a little too overconfident, I would say. And like Joel said, they thought they were the better team. They had this cockiness about themselves. And the Chiefs, they kind of reverted back to their old selves, how they played early in the season. Remember where the defense had to show up a lot of afternoons and bail them out on big plays? Well, that's what you saw in this AFC Championship game. And there was no way the Chiefs was going to win the game playing like that in the second half, because Patrick Mahomes was pedestrian in the second half. He didn't show up. He didn't deliver. He didn't
wait, Jonathan. With this argument that you're saying, I do have to ask you one question.
Sure.
Where is the praise for the Cincinnati Bengals? Where is the praise
I was
for
getting
Joe
there.
Burrow?
I was getting there.
All right, let me hear it.
I was getting there, but Patrick Mahomes, man, to finish with Patrick Mahomes, he struggled because when you look at his numbers in the second half, it wasn't nearly anything like it was in the first half. 55 yards, 8 for 18, 2 interceptions. You're not going to win like that. Again, he relied too much on his defense to bail him out, and they just didn't. And now I switch over to the Cincinnati Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals are one hell of a team. You better watch out for that young kid, Joe Burrow, because this kid is going to be something. Yeah. And I've been saying it for a very long time that he could be the next Tom Brady.
Brady.
Argument. But you know what? It's still young in his career. He's got a long career ahead of him, but he's looking very promising. I mean, this guy works through his progressions. He makes plays. He doesn't have the greatest offensive line, and he's out there running for his life, and yet the guy is still making plays, still making throws down the field. He has dynamic weapons around him. You can't take anything away from the young kid, Jamar Chase. I mean, he's on his way, and I just can't wait to watch what the Cincinnati Bengals team can do for so many years. Because if you keep these guys together, we will be sitting here saying that this is the best quarterback wide receiver combo, like we say with Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers over in Green Bay.
Marvin Harrison and Peyton Manning.
Yes, Marvin Harris and Harrison and Peyton Manning, absolutely. But you look at the Cincinnati Bengals team, and they came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I mean, this team is poised. They're athletic. they played an excellent game, and now they're in the Super Bowl. Who would have thought that Joe Burrow, after coming off a gruesome injury, missing much of last season, right?
Yeah.
And now he gets his team to the Super Bowl, marches his team down the field. This team was down 21-3. The game looked like it was over, but what it shows me is that Joe Burrow is very mature. He's ahead of his time, and he's a very resilient quarterback, and he's well on his way. And
I got to ask you guys this question, though, and Jonathan brings up a good point. You know, we are seeing the end of eras in front of us as football fans.
Yeah.
All these great quarterbacks we've watched, Big Ben, Eli, Peyton, like we can name a cornucopia of quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
We can say Patrick Mahomes, we can say Justin Herbert, but are we really on the cusp of that new type of player? Like, did this cement you guys from like just turning the page and saying, well, I watched these guys, and now I need to watch these guys? Is Joe Burrow a not like I have to watch him kind of guy now?
Yes. He's box office.
Definitely. I mean, yeah, definitely. Welcome to the new school. I would definitely say that. Welcome to the new school, and watching the old school kind of wither away and go off in the sunset, and get them. They're starting to do like different TV commentary and things like that. And now the new school is coming in, and they just kind of like taking over the league. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. I don't want to sit here and waste my time talking about Patrick Mahomes. I'm not even gonna talk about the Chiefs. I don't even want to talk about this whole ordeal of what they did or what they didn't do, right? Because let's just call it for what it was. They didn't show it when it mattered most, and that's just what it was, right? That's just Andy Reid trying to be cute. The offense tried to be cute. They didn't figure it out in the second half. The Cincinnati Bengals did. Now, what I want to talk about real quick is I do want to piggyback off of something that you guys were talking about with Joe Burrows and the Cincinnati Bengals and this connection with him and Jamar Chase. I want to say this, man. Leadership is everything, right? It's all about the intangibles. It's all about what you bring to the football team attitude-wise. And I felt like from day one, Joe Burrow stepped in, and there's just a swag about him, man, that you can see everyone else gravitates to. Everybody, from interviews, from the way he's in practice, from just everything he does, you can tell other people gravitate to, and you just cannot help but follow the dude. You can't help but like him. All right. So for me, I really feel like Cincinnati Bengals are definitely on an up and up, but I don't know, man. I'm not counting out Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, man. I can't let that go yet. Man. They coming too. So saying that to say, hey, real quick, guys, we're gonna go to commercial break, and when we get back, we'll start talking about the NFC Championship game.
Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we're making a place. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. Sport all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so type the laces. All sports all plays.
This is the Fox D Streaming Network. Register to come on our channel at foxdnetwork.com.
All right, fellas, we back. So we're back on to Just Say the Truth. Let's piggyback off where we left off at. Let's talk about the NFC Championship game, man, where the Rams and 49ers, man, the Rams win 20-17. Give me you guys' take, man. What do you guys think about the game?
I know me personally, me watching the game, both games is exciting, by the way. There was not a game that was not exciting. So I was watching the game, and I was actually very impressed with the San Francisco 49ers starting off. I said, okay, this is the game that they want to play. They want to play played good defense. They was Jimmy G was looking. He was looking decent for the most part. He wasn't giving the game away the first 3 quarters. And then in fourth quarter, hey, the first 3 quarters, Aaron Donald and their defense they could not connect. They could not apply pressure to this team. They could not at all. And I was waiting. I said, "Where's Aaron Donald? Where is he at?"
Yep.
We seen him in that fourth quarter. He was getting on them guys. He's like, "Hey, let's go. Wake up. We got to make a play."
Yep.
And did they make that play? They made the play when they needed to make a play. Aaron Donald forced pressure to Jimmy G. Jimmy G started running like his head cut off like a chicken, and then here comes the interception. Then it was ball game. I mean, it was just like it was perfect time, and I mean, it really, really was. But hey, shout out to Matthew Stafford. Everybody want to talk about him, but I want to give one man on that Los Angeles Rams team some praise, and that's Odell Beckham Jr. Odell Beckham Jr. They wanted to call that brother dumb. They wanted to call him a cancer. They wanted to say he was the problem down there in Cleveland, and I kept saying, no, it's Baker. It's Baker. It's Baker. Jonathan, this man right here is a Rams fan. He didn't want OBJ on his team. He didn't want him. He said, "No, he's gonna hurt us. He's gonna be a cancer." But hey, OBJ came down there and he balled, and he showed us that if he's on the right team, he can be a number one option still in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan, you want to go first before I blast Jimmy G?
Yeah, he you know what? OBJ has certainly impressed me since coming over with the Rams. We know that he has this narrative that follows him about him being the cancer in the locker room, or being a distraction, or a nutcase, or a diva. We hear all these things about OBJ, right? Let's talk about the good things, because at first I was one of those guys that's like, no, I don't think we should ride the wave with him. I don't think we should try him out and bring him on board. And what has it done? It's paid off since he's got here, and after the game, I was so I was so happy for him, and also I appreciated him because he went over to the 49ers bench and he consoled Deebo Samuel, who was crying with a towel over his head. That was a class act by OBJ. But I don't want to take up too much time talking about OBJ because I want to get into the game. The Rams, they turned it on when they needed to. They made some big plays on defense. I don't know what Aaron Donald said to those guys over on the bench, but whatever he said to them, it got through their thick skull because they started playing a different ball game, and their mentality was different, and everything about them was different. So the Rams started making big plays on defense. That dictated the outcome of the game. Jimmy G was running for his life out there, couldn't make plays. We all know how he is when he's under duress. He's nothing more but a game manager. I always say that, and when the times got hard for him, when the going got tough, he couldn't make the plays. He folded under pressure, and the Rams took advantage of that. They started making big plays. Matthew Stafford was brilliant as ever. He put together one of these great seasons since he came on board. I mean, he went from unappreciated to this, top tier quarterback that finally got the Rams back to the Super Bowl. So a lot of love and praise for him.
Yeah.
The Rams did it. I don't want to take anything away from the 49ers, though. They had an impressive year. I think they overachieved. I don't know if you guys would agree with that, but they kind of overachieved.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of people didn't expect them to get this far. But, Deebo is definitely going to have a great offseason. He about to get paid big time. He did his thing. I don't know if Jimmy G's going to come back after that late game interception because that might have just determined whether or not he'll be back in the 49ers uniform. And if I was the 49ers, I wouldn't want him back. But Anyway, it was a good game. Great victory for the Rams. Now they're back in the Super Bowl. Let's see what they do against this very good Cincinnati Bengals team.
Okay. Jimmy G is garbage. All right. Y'all is just fronting on that. Jimmy G, like we talk about quarterbacks and we talk about game managers. That's cool. That means you can't throw the long pass. You got to go for the short pass or the intermediary passes. He can't do any of that. Jimmy G is garbage. Deebo Samuel is the reason they got to the NFC Championship. Let's not front on that. And that anything less than a Rams victory would be an embarrassment to the NFL. Matthew Stafford played 12 seasons with Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
And he had, that's a big fat 0 in playoff wins. I mean, Matthew Stafford isn't Tom Brady. He's not Aaron Rodgers, but he can make the plays.
Yeah.
OBJ, he's got the hands, Cup, Higbee, so he's got weapons. Mm-hmm. But Garoppolo and what we saw now with Garoppolo, and there's comments publicly saying, I'm up for a trade. That means you didn't do your job and you're ready to go. So, like, Jimmy G is trash, man.
Now,
like, I wouldn't want him anywhere.
Hold on. Hold on. I can't let you do this. I got to put some perspective to this, my brother.
Please.
I understand what you're saying. I understand that. But with Jimmy G, they win. They
win what? They lost the championship game.
Literally what I was waiting on, Joel, because I was about to get you. Because I was going to say, literally, the last time that Jimmy G placed all 16 games, they were in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. Now that I cannot take away from him. I mean, yeah, he's a game manager, but he does win. I don't know how he does it.
but they lost now.
He's like a Ryan,
and he's asking, and he publicly was like, "Yo, hey, they're talking about trading me. I'm cool with it. I want to go to a winner." So let me ask you this. Let me flip this. Okay. All of y'all has seen that Jimmy G is open to a trade because that's what's been put out there. Where would he go? What team could he help win, take to a Super Bowl that doesn't have
teams right now?
Without a Bosa, without someone strong? Like, where are you sending Jimmy G to the Bucks?
You could send him. You could send him to the Saints. You could
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh would be a good destination for him.
Pittsburgh would be interesting, but that AFC is tight.
Hey, Joe, let me ask you a question.
Yeah, bro.
I'm gonna put it this way.
All right.
You know, Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback.
Regular
season. He's a quarterback that haven't done anything in 10 years.
Absolutely. Like Peyton Manning was.
So, Jimmy G. Okay, I got another example. Dak Prescott.
Who never even won
all this money. Who got all these weapons around him. Yeah, they can't get past the first round. They 1-3 with Dak Prescott in the playoffs. They are 5-2 with Jimmy Garoppolo in the playoffs. This is a quarterback that took his team to the Super Bowl, then it was one game away from another Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I have to be honest with you, and I have to be real. This is just say the truth. So my truth is some of these quarterbacks who we're talking about have limited skills and get lucky. Okay, honestly, y'all are laughing, and that's fine. But that short intermediate pass is great. But finding it over and over, or throwing to a guy and it getting a tip, that's a Jimmy G.
So
I would rather have an Aaron Rodgers 75-yard bomb tipped by a defender on the 20-yard line as an interception than something by a middle linebacker at the 50-yard line that can be taken back to the house.
That's one last question for you.
Jimmy G doesn't make those shots.
I have one last question. If Jimmy G would have had the game If he would have came in that fourth quarter, was clutch, came down there, win the game, your mindset changed about him. He's a great quarterback, correct?
No, I don't think so, because I think he's average.
Okay.
I think Jimmy G, to me, does not have the skill set as an Aaron Rodgers, as a Tom Brady, as guys in the upper tier. I think Jimmy G is more of, oh, hey, the slant is open. This is what it's designed. Let me get to it. I can't be creative as a football mind and go outside. I think he's more of that. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because to move on from this time, I'm gonna end it with this. We talk about we saying our truth and everything. Here's what I'll end with this. When we talk about Jimmy G and we talk about the limit, how he's limited in the passing game and things of this nature, and sometimes the offense, they call plays designed to keep the ball away from him turning the ball over, things of this nature. When you have media plays a big part, right? So when you have a coaching staff and you have the media literally the entire year telling you, hey, this is your last year, they're probably going to move on from you. They're probably going to trade you. You're not healthy. You're not this. That's hard on anybody to be in a place where you don't feel wanted, to be at your full potential. That's hard. That's hard for anybody. You know what I mean?
Real.
So,
Yeah.
So the truth of the matter is, I would say this. I would say, did he play to his full potential? On the outside looking in, I would say yes, but to him, he may not. He may go somewhere else and play top tier level. He just may need to find somebody that believe in him enough to feel like he's a top tier quarterback and put him in position to show that he really can be, and not hinder him or give it off to the running back or piggyback on dump downs to George Kittle with quick screens to Debo and things of that nature. So that's my truth. You know, that's my truth about it. And I mean, hey, moving on to the next topic. I know we were talking about Joe Burrow and the Tom Brady comparison. Is that something that we all can agree with? Is that something that everybody is, that we're really saying that Joe Burrow could be the next Tom Brady? 22 years, 7 Super Bowls, 10 Super Bowl appearances. Can we really say that about Joe Burrow right now?
Well, there will never be another Tom Brady, first and foremost. But if there is one guy that has the intangibles and has the arm strength and has the talent of a Tom Brady in this generation, it's Joe Burrow. You can kind of see it early on. I mean, I know it's kind of too early to draw that comparison, but he's definitely on his way. If he can stay healthy and if he could keep playing at this level as he has demonstrated so far in his young career, he is definitely on his way to being one of the all-time greats.
Yo, yeah, I gotta put it out there. I gotta put it like this, guys.
Say your truth.
We've talked sports. We cover all of them. So was there? Babe Ruth was the first. Then there was Hank Aaron. Then there was Barry Bonds in basketball. You look at Russell. You look at Kareem. You look at Kobe. You look at Jordan. Every sport goes back and forth, and you always find that next guy. Oh, LeBron is Michael. So you're always looking for that guy, whether he lives up to the expectations or not. It's a fantastic thing. We had Peyton Manning. We've had Tom Brady. Who are they living up to? What's the greatest quarterback? Oh, Joe Montana. Joe Burrow is the new Andrew Luck, because Andrew Luck was the guy we were putting the bookmark to all the greats, the Brett Favres, the Joe Montana. I am finally glad to have a conversation about a quarterback in the NFL who breeds Tom Brady. This is the first time that I can honestly say that I'm looking to someone who has Tom Brady qualities. I guess that's the word, because honestly, Joe Montana, Tom Brady has trumped him. So now when I look at quarterbacks, I'm looking at Tom Brady. Love him, hate him, I respect the guy. He's done things we'll never see again while we're alive that Tom Brady did. 3 Super Bowls, 3 different decades. So I think it's great. I think it's finally amazing to see a conversation of the new quarterback equated to an old quarterback, because What do we got left, guys? Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Big Ben is gone. Eli is gone. Peyton is gone. Rivers is gone. Breeze is gone. We're flipping the script on a new generation. And some people could say Baker. Some people could write in whoever they want at the beginning of this book. But I think the book of the new generational quarterback is Joe Burrow, period.
Yep. And as we usher in a new era of quarterbacks, you have a long list of them. You have Joe Burrow, you have Justin Herbert, the list goes on, But right now, early on, Joe Burrow holds the title as the number one guy of this era so far right now. And I think he definitely has the skill set to be the face of the league in the upcoming years.
Okay. So let me ask you guys this. Let me ask you this then. So we're saying, if we're going with Joe Burrow being he would be the next guy up, right? What would we call the Patrick Mahomes? What would we call him? Because from what was going on in the media earlier, not even this year, let's just go last year before, he was supposed to be the one that everybody's like, oh, he's definitely going to be the next it. He's definitely the face of the league. And it's crazy how the narrative changed now. We're having discussions about Joe Burrow being that now, right? So
Well,
it's like,
I didn't get to go yet because they said Joe Burrow. I was gonna say Patrick Mahomes because everybody want to count that brother out just because he lost this year. But
right.
let's not forget what this man has accomplished in the NFL at a young age. This is a guy who's came in the league and won a Super Bowl. This is a guy who's thrown for 50 touchdowns in the season. This is a guy that's been to another Super Bowl. This is a guy that's been on deep runs in the playoffs. Hey, this is Joe Burrow's first year. Okay. Hey, congratulations. We're glad you're here. We need to see what's going to happen next year. What are you guys going to do the following year? We've seen what Patrick Mahomes did the following year. Until then, I'm putting Patrick Mahomes in that conversation. And no matter what, I know one thing about Patrick Mahomes. When he plays, we're gonna see something special. He's ready to go out there and do that one-handed throw, or he's coming up there to do a little no look pass, or he's ready to do something special that nobody else can do. So I'm definitely not gonna count out Patrick Mahomes at all.
Yeah, but that's great. And we could say all we want. Oh, Patrick Mahomes is the new Michael Vick. Michael Vick was doing stuff that we have never seen before. The league may be catching up to Patrick Mahomes. You know what's tried and true? Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, guys who stay in the pocket, who can read defenses, who can make plays happen. Joe Burrow can do that. Oh, you want to see the fancy shit? That's great. You want to have the flip stick? You want to be the new generational quarterback for the new generation in the NFL? No. It always results back to what works in football. Tom Brady wasn't a Patrick Mahomes. Peyton Manning wasn't a Patrick Mahomes. Dan Marino wasn't a Patrick Mahomes. We're
We've
not
never seen
talking
Patrick
about
Mahomes.
any fancy dancy quarterback that did things in the NFL that wasn't original. It always reverts to back what is tried and true in the NFL. You can run
Yeah,
new
we've never seen
offenses.
Patrick Mahomes.
You
That's
can do
true.
all that. A
We've never
guy
seen
who
him before.
throws the ball, a guy
Right.
who can make things happen is Joe Burrow.
But we've never
And great.
seen.
I'm not talking Patrick Mahomes down. I'm just saying.
But I understand that I love Joe Burrow. I believe he's the real deal. But we can't sit up here and hype him over Patrick Mahomes because we've only seen 1 year of this. We've only led his team to the Super Bowl 1 year. We
Oh,
need to
but we
see
saw
what he's going to
Lamar
do
Jackson
forward.
before. Everybody was praising Lamar Jackson and what the Ravens were doing. Now they're nothing. So this could be a flash in the pan with Mahomes. This could be
Actually,
his
I
end
just
game.
Right. I think other teams have caught up to Patrick Mahomes and they know how to game plan and scheme for him. And now you are seeing some glaring weaknesses in his game. There's times that he has not looked like the Patrick Mahomes that we saw when he first burst onto the scene, and so a lot of people now have their questions about Patrick Mahomes. That's not to take anything away from Patrick Mahomes. I think Patrick Mahomes is still one of the top quarterbacks in the league, and he will be up there.
Well, I do have a question. You bring that up.
Right.
Who had a better year, though? Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes? Not in the playoffs, but just all around in the type of game that they played. Was it Josh Allen or was it Patrick Mahomes?
I say Patrick Mahomes.
Was it Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes?
I mean, it's debatable.
Was it Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes? I mean, look at all that. Look, the three guys I just named played a traditional game of football. Josh Allen ran it a little bit more than the other two, but every year that we talk football, we're going back to guys who can throw the ball, who make mistakes, but stay in that pocket and make things happen. Mahomes is great. I love the flips. I love the dink and dunks, and that's great. It doesn't win all year, every year. And when you have a guy like Joe Burrow who does the fundamentals to an extreme level, like an Aaron Rodgers, like a Peyton Manning, like a Drew Brees, like a Tom Brady, those guys, they're the ace card every time.
But Joe, you got to
without a sturdy offensive line.
9 sacks.
Joe, hold on. We got to take a commercial break in a few minutes.
Commercial break.
Yeah.
Knicks down 10 to the grid.
What did you say?
I said Kobe Bean Bryant has been overrated ever since he passed away.
Now, I'd say they could lose about 4, but I don't see them losing 5. You know what I mean?
Whole sports, all plays. Whole sports, all plays. Whole sports, all plays.
All right, welcome back to Just Say the Truth. So we were talking about the Joe Burrow, the Tom Brady comparisons. However, we're not going to stay on that topic too long because we could talk for hours on that topic. The next topic I want to get to, I want to talk about TB12, man, retiring after 22 seasons, man. We can go down his accolades as much as we want and talk about that, but let's just talk about how much of an example this man was, being the golden standard of the NFL. What do you guys have to say to that? So for a wonderful, luxurious career.
Just like Joel said, a guy that played the game the right way, a guy that came in there, made his teammates better, was a leader. Hey man, this dude is pure greatness. You go out there and see the type of diet this dude put in to go throughout a year, or to last throughout a year. A guy that has, changed unbelievable talent to make them even better. Randy Moss, Antonio Brown, of all people, Rob Gronkowski, Elderman. There's been a lot of talent around this guy, and he's to win the 7 Super Bowls. Being in the league for 22 years is just remarkable. And honestly, the only reason why in my eyes that he retired is just because of his family. If it wasn't for family, I believe he'll still be playing. Because even this year on his last leg, on this last year, he still looked good. He still was going out there at the age of 44 years old, killing the game. But he's definitely going to be missed. It's never going to be another Tom Brady. The league is, this is his league. The greatest player of all time to ever lace it up, to ever throw the pigskin. It's Tom Brady's era, and we just living in it.
Oh, I can't disagree. I mean, honestly, when you look at it, you can all go back. You could say Montana, you could say Steve Young, you could say Troy Aikman, you could say Peyton Manning, but honestly, I mean, Tom Brady is Tom Brady. Yeah. That's it. Like, there shouldn't be anything else to say. The only stat that stands out to me that is unequivocally amazing, besides the records that he has, when you look at his playoff record, and you stretch it out, Tom Brady had 3 extra seasons just in playoff games. So he basically played 25 years of NFL football, a quarter century. And when you look back at the books, and I know all 4 of us look back at 25 years and we're like, yo, where did it go? But Tom Brady is a part of 25 years almost. I mean, there's nothing else to say. You can say LeBron and Jordan, fine. But like, I'm a Dolphin fan. I got nothing but respect for Brady. I hate the man. I despise him as a player, but I bow down to his greatness. No records will be broken. He's the Iron Man, the Cal Ripken Jr. of the NFL, period. Tom Brady is the man. I do a Wayne's World salute. I'm not worthy to Tom Brady.
Jonathan, what you got?
Yeah, Tom Brady is definitely the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time. He remade the NFL. And he will be missed. There will never be, like I said earlier in the show, there will never be another Tom Brady. His remarkable legacy is one that we will always remember, is one that we will always celebrate for many, many years to come. And one day I would sit down with my daughter and when she gets older, maybe my grandchildren, and we will talk about how great of a player this guy by the name of Tom Brady was. I mean, his skill set is never to be replicated. I don't think anyone can match his level of play, not a quarterback of this generation. He has records that's not meant to be broken, and when you look at his list of accolades, I mean, it just illustrates that he was the greatest to ever do it.
Yeah.
And I mean, what more can you really say about Tom Brady? His numbers was unparalleled, and I mean, the guy is just the greatest to ever do it, and we will miss him. I mean, the league is not going to be the same without him. But now we usher in this new era of quarterbacks, and I will say this: the league will be fine, even with or without Tom Brady. But we will never, ever have another Tom Brady.
I think you all 3 of you have hit every point. It's because we can go on and on about all the accolades, all the games won. We can go on. I have one fond memory of Mr. Tom Brady, and all I remember is this score 29-23. And scoring in overtime to beat the Carolina Panthers, and till this day I can't get that score out of my head. So every time I see him play, I just remember 29-23. Give it all back to get us overtime, and I could never live that down. But outside of that, man, like you guys said, you guys hit it on all cylinders, man. The guy was phenomenal. Apparently he was a hell of a teammate. Definitely the gold standard. Shout out to him and his family, and may God continue to bless them all on his journey to the next stage of his life.
Yep. And I just want to say one more thing. His longevity coupled with his quarterback brilliance is what separates him from all the rest. So he was the epitome of what a stellar quarterback is, what a legendary quarterback is, and his career was simply that, legendary. And I will never forget that he was a fierce competitor who wanted to win. Another thing that stands out to me too was his workout regimen. I don't think anyone conditioned their body better than Tom Brady. For his age, this guy was still able to, play with some of those young cats out there and play the game at his highest level. So, I mean,
So,
Tom Brady was just amazing.
so Jonathan, are you having avocado ice cream after we get on the air? Get off the air?
No, I will not be doing
Ah,
that.
all
I would drink water though.
right.
So the next, all right, guys, and the next topic we're going to go over. Okay, so there's been a big hoopla this whole week by Mr. Coach Brian Flores, a lawsuit against the NFL and the three teams. Give me you guys' take on this and on him, standing out and stepping up to the NFL and his claims, man.
I want to go first. So yesterday morning, I woke up. I was a New York Giants fan. Okay, let's just say I didn't make it being a Giants fan the rest of that day. Um, I'm gonna speak on this Rooney Rule real quick.
Okay.
Total BS. It gives these teams an excuse. It's just a cover up. That's all it is. Um, because why waste this man's time if you wasn't going to hire? If you knew going in, why would you waste this man's time? The Giants look bad,
Yeah.
look horrible. Um, the move that they took, it tells me who you are. It shows me who you are.
Yeah.
Maya Angelou says, "Someone shows you who you are, believe them," and I'm believing him. I commend what he's doing. I love it. He have to understand, and he do understand that there's a chance that he won't get a coaching job in the NFL again.
Yep.
But he's not doing it for him.
Yeah.
He's doing it for all minorities. All. In NFL, wake up. If you don't see as a problem that you only have one African American to be in a job in the NFL as a head coaching position, you got a problem.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna research and see if Mike Tomlin is the longest black coach to be in the NFL.
Tony Dungy.
That'd be a good one. That'd be a good one.
Tony Dungy? Okay. Well, hey. Well, it starts from the top. The NFL need more black owners, more minority owners. It don't just have to be black minorities. But it's not going to change until we get that, because you got to realize we are talking about 50, 60, 70-year-old men that are stuck in their ways. That's going to always have those mindsets. They're stuck in them.
Can I say something as the only I need to say something real quick, guys. I don't think it's a racism problem. I think it's a prejudice problem. And what I mean by that is I'm not saying racism doesn't exist, but I think what we have in the NFL is a prejudice. And I think you have guys, white guys, who don't want to understand or kind of understand where other ethnic diversities are coming from. That's the problem. It's not racism, it's a prejudice problem. It's that they have this prejudged disposition about certain things that they don't want to hear. And you look at it, you said Mike Tomlin, you said Tony Dungy. Opportunities are given. And I think in a case of Brian Flores, it's a prejudice that they don't understand where he's coming from. It's not an excuse. And I'm not saying racism doesn't exist. But as you guys said at the top, it's these predispositioned mindsets. It's a prejudice against what everything has come from.
Well, Joel,
and you look at Khan in Jacksonville, he's the only minority or owner in the NFL. There's only one now black head coach, and I understand that. And I'm not saying, again, that racism doesn't exist, but it's the predisposition in certain people's mentality that need to change. We talked about the quarterback position changing to the new generation. I think we need to see a new kind of ownership who is more open mentality is toward that, to see that anybody can win. Black, purple, white, green, it doesn't matter. Let's just get wins happening.
Yeah, but Joel, you said that this opportunity because of Dungy and Mike Tomlin. That's not really the case. It's not really the opportunities out there is not fair or they're not getting them. Yes, they're getting interviews because of the Rooney Rule. But if you remember, I believe the Rooney Rule has been out since 2003.
2003.
We have left. We have less African American men in coaching now with this rule than we did before.
Right, right,
I mean, I
and
mean,
that's why I think
hold
Can
they.
I
on,
ask
hold
you guys a
on, hold on,
question?
hold on, hold on. And
Yeah.
then the opportunities that we get is jobs that they 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 want us to turn around within
Okay.
a year or two, and that's not true expectation.
Okay. How many black head coaches are in the NBA? How many black head coaches are
33%,
in Major League Baseball? So
33%.
why are we only hearing about this disparity in one of the major sports?
It's because in the NFL is
Seventy percent of the league is black. That's why we're hearing this. Oh, but then again, in the NBA, it's more than 70%. And in Major League Baseball, it's 35%. So we're only hearing about this disparity in the most media covered sport.
yes, but you got to realize one out of 30 some teams. I mean, the NBA and
Who
it,
is the
MLB
who is the
have
last black
33%.
NBA head coach to win a championship?
I was gonna say
Dr.
Johnson, Dallas Mavericks, but I might don't
No,
quote me on
Ty
that.
Lue.
Who is the last African American or minority
I'm trying
to win a championship in MLB?
That's
We're not talking about that. We're
Dave
only
Roberts.
talking about
Dave
this
Roberts.
because Brian Flores brought it to the forefront. And it's the
No,
NFL.
no.
What about women's? Oh, you brought up Becky Hammon to Las Vegas. Where is there more women in professional sports?
No, I talked about it before the Brian Flores situation. I came up here and I said I'm sick and I'm tired and I'm tired and I'm sick of every year, every offseason. It's the same damn problem in the NFL because
But it's only the NFL. It's not the other
it's
sports.
because we
think
have
Brian
33%
Flores
of
like
that. This is the one with the less percentage. So you got to start somewhere. So that's why we're starting with the NFL.
Because
Because
it's
you mean
forfeit.
to tell me going this offseason, you look at a guy like Kellen Moore and you look at an Eric McMenemy, this guy Kellen Moore has have a higher chance of getting a head coaching position in the NFL. And you tell me you compare the resumes and that he should be having more favor? Hell no.
I would
Hell
love the
no.
enemy. I would love the enemy to be the coach of the Dolphins. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's a story that the media is creating
No,
and
it's
that
not a
what we
story.
all see.
This is
Like
fact.
nobody is talking about everything else.
Joe,
Everybody is talking about one
This is
specific
not the
thing,
media.
and
This is
that's it. And they're
facts.
not looking at all the facts.
Yo, this is not facts. This is not the
Okay.
media. This is
Oh,
straight
this is not
facts.
facts. It's not the media.
No,
Okay.
it is facts. I mean, you mean to tell me this is something they like to use this as a narrative. If we go out and get an interview, oh, he wasn't qualified. His resume don't match up. I mean, that's bogus. You mean to tell me a guy named Brian Flores can't get a second interview? But we have guys that's coming from the college ranks coming for interviews, but they haven't done anything. We're talking about that's what we're talking about. We're
Cliff
talking
King.
about guys that is
Look,
credible.
I just want to say this. I think Brian Flores brought this to light. I think what he did was courageous to put himself out there, and now he hurts his chances of getting the NFL job.
Of course.
All because he is, willing to sacrifice everything to see change in this league. I think that's his position, is that he wants change for not just black coaches, but all minorities.
And that's fine. And I'm not disagreeing with you guys on any point on that side. I'm just saying everybody is coming at this as a racism thing.
It
And I
is
don't
racist,
think
bro. But
that
where's
what
it
it is.
not?
I think
Where's
it's
it
a
not?
prejudice thing.
Where's
And
it
I
not
just
racist
think
though?
everyone is skewing the situation and the thoughts toward that. And now it's a black and white thing. And I don't think it's as clear as that.
So I get where you was going with it, Joe. I get where you was going with that, and I actually I can agree with that. I can agree with you not with them not trying to understand where the diversity, where they've come from, that background. I can understand that completely. I get that. When you started referring to like, oh, it's not like this in the NBA or MLB.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why this isn't the case in the NBA is because the NBA understood, and this was only because this was before this when David Stern was in office.
Yeah,
it wasn't the way it was now. Now they're player driven now. So now a lot of the players have the power to say, hey, I want this coach, or hey, I want this and this and this. Whereas in the NFL, it's always been traditional. Always. It's always been, hey, this is what it is. This is what your job is. Do your job. Don't worry about this here. We got this. We pay you to go throw a football or catch a football or run a rock. We take care of big business here. That's the difference. So when we're referring to that, that's why you're not hearing it as often in the NBA.
Shouldn't we be talking about that though? How the NFL is not like the other leagues and how that should change besides just putting up the Rooney Rule and all this? Like, why are we not talking about absolute change like we did in the NBA where the players get more control? Why are we not talking about that in the NFL? Because it's the most popular sport. It's the most paid thing. Like, why can't we have conversations about that? Why does this conversation have to be based on race? Why? Instead of the real idea that you just agreed upon me with, why can't we have that conversation?
So we could go either way with this. So I mean, yes, we could go with it being prejudice of you, or it could just be the mixture of both. You know what I mean? So it doesn't have to necessarily be, oh, it's just racist, it's not prejudice. No, it may be racism there with a sip of prejudice in there too, right? Because you may not like this person due to their color, whatever, but you can also say, hey, I don't want to understand what they got going on. I know what they're about. I already know that they da-da-da.
Right. And that's where the ignorance comes in. That's where the ignorance comes in. The willful ignorance comes in, and people are blinded by the truth. Instead of looking at the person, they're basing everything on their skin color instead of giving them the fair opportunity. And I think that's what Brian Flores is focusing on. I think Brian Flores is taking a stand. He's taking a stand, and I don't want to come off as political, but he's taking a stand, he's willing to sacrifice everything and take a stand for minorities so they can have a chance to shine just like these white coaches are as well.
And
there's a lot of names out there on the list. I mean, look, how come DeMarco how come D'Amico Ryans isn't a coaching candidate? How come Eric Bieniemy doesn't have a job yet?
Yeah.
How come David Conley got fired after one season?
Yeah.
And he didn't even have a quarterback.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't have a quarterback, and he didn't even have his top defensive player on the field. So there is a problem in the NFL today, and it needs to be addressed. And if there's one voice that was powerful enough to use his platform, that guy was Brian Flores, and I'm not mad at him.
And I would say this. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
Oh no! I was gonna say, enjoy one more thing too, because I honestly, when I tell you, I genuinely understand where you're trying to go with this, and I'm not discrediting. I actually like where you're going with it because you're right. When you
I'm not discrediting Joel either.
When you talked about it being about, it's why is it all highlighted just on the NFL? Why are we discussing these different changes and stuff like this, right? You have to also factor into with the NBA. The NBA, when they have these big meetings, these player versus CBA and stuff like that, players are leading that. They're representing the players and going in and vouching and having these rough, tough conversations about, hey, what it is that we need and da-da-da. In the NFL, the most they have is a kicker. They don't have the likes of the Tom Brady's of the world speakers.
No, and I completely understand that. And I respect everything you guys are saying. And this is why I think it's more a prejudice thing in the NFL than anything else, because it's the old guard. It's guys who have a mentality that this is the way it should be, and nothing is going to change that. And I think personally, until you get a changing of the guard at ownership, until you get a changing of a guard at the mentality of things going on, this is the way it's going to be. And it's portrayed as the way it is, and that's it. And there's nothing we can
And
do.
Joel, the
And
problem with that,
you mentioned, the guy in Texas, Cal, that was inevitable. They won 4 games. Nobody thought the Texans would win 4 games. I just think the way things are looked at in the NFL is so looked at differently than any other sport. And Brian Flores did a great thing. Hey, listen, what he did was wrong to him. What happened to him was wrong. What he said was the truth. And whatever comes from that. And I'm not discrediting that. I'm just saying, just all this hate and all this mentality toward all this thought, you got to think it through. And you guys aren't wrong. And I'm just putting my truth out there.
My thing is, I got 2 things. My thing is my first one on the ownership. There's plenty of minorities that tried to come in and purchase teams, but they won't let them. They won't let them. Jay-Z tried to come in and purchase a team. They won't let them. These and I believe it's like this. I could be wrong. I believe in order to purchase a team, all these owners have to sign off on it.
Yeah.
And they have not been willing to do that because they do not want to see minorities come into the league.
Because it's fear.
Yeah.
It's prejudice.
Well, we can
it's
say
a prejudice toward minorities. It doesn't
you look at the New York Giants. You look at the
racism.
New York Giants has been in the league since 1925. They have not had one black head coach for that franchise. Not once.
Yeah.
Not once.
And how many black general managers are there?
How many black general managers are in other sports? Let's not just focus in on the NFL, guys. Let's stop doing that.
You can change it how you want to, my brother.
Sports.
But right now, the problem is in the NFL.
But it's not just the NFL. That's where you guys got it twisted. How many black NBA owners can you name off the top of your head, not name Michael Jordan? How many black GMs in baseball can you?
Hey, that's a big.
So let's stop making this an NFL problem.
That's a big step.
An entire.
That's something that the NFL don't have.
You're focusing
that's something the NFL don't have. They have 2.
Bullshit.
The NFL don't have 1.
It don't matter. So tell me one NBA owner, not Michael Jordan, who's a black owner or a minority owner.
You have Jay-Z as well.
Tell me one NHL team.
What about the NFL?
One NHL team. Exactly. Y'all are focusing on one sport and one sport only when this problem for minorities is sports wide and nobody's talking about it. You want to focus on one sport.
Listen. Before we take a commercial break, Brian Flores alleges discrimination in NFL workplaces. It is real. It is happening. This stuff happens everywhere. This is something that as black people we deal with every day. I mean, we could be qualified for the job. We can have degrees and we can still get overlooked. And, at the end of the day, we still lose out on the job. That's just the way it is. I don't know why our people continue to get mad because it's been like this for years. And it's not really surprising that the NFL is having this problem. It's a problem everywhere.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Jamie, you ready for us to go on break?
All right, man. So just say the truth, man. We're going to come back to y'all after the commercial break.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
That was intense.
365 5, we making a place. We talking the game, get you to the days. We're hiding the court, the diamond in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the air, we're taking the nation. Sport all plays, like working your faces. Scratch up the film, so
I
time
was
to
trying to be as
lace.
respectful as possible.
All sports all plays.
But again, it's important.
All sports all plays.
I'm good. Let's have
We on top of our game. All sports all plays. All sports all plays.
Hey, look. At the end of the day, it's a debate. It's. Oh. Hey, y'all! Just say the truth. We back at it again. So we just got through with the Brian Flores lawsuit. We talked about the NFL and his lawsuit against those 3 teams. So we're gonna do a shift, right? We're gonna shift this on over to a different sport. So we're gonna get over to the NBA. Let's talk about which point guard gets traded first by the trade deadline. Russell Westbrook or Ben Simmons? That's a tough one, guys. What you got?
Neither one.
Knowing how pragmatic the Lakers can be and knowing their approach at times and how desperate they can be, I can see Russell Westbrook being on the move before I see Ben Simmons. And I say that because the Lakers, every move it seems they make, it backfires on them. So once a move doesn't work out or pan out as they expect it to, they try to find another solution, and that usually is a trade, right? So I can see the Lakers moving on from Russell Westbrook because it has not worked out the way the Lakers have anticipated it to work out.
Yep.
It's been a train wreck for the Los Angeles Lakers. So, I mean, I can see them moving on from Russell Westbrook and finding a trade for him. The problem is this, guys. How in the hell are you going to trade Russell Westbrook? Who's going to pick up that ridiculous contract? That's the question that remains to be seen. But I'm sure there's some desperate NBA team out there that would, foolishly fall for it. And the Lakers will package more of their assets like they did in the past. And they'll just put them in a deeper hole as it's done in the past, because we've seen this with the Lakers, right? They trade all their young assets and then they have nothing to show for it. Yeah. So they'll trade Russell Westbrook again and they'll still be as bad as they've been. This substandard team that can't find a way to get over the hump.
Yeah.
And so I think it's Russell Westbrook before Ben Simmons. I just don't see Ben Simmons going anytime soon. I think they're going to make it. I think the Sixers organization is going to make it miserable as hell for Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons hasn't played. Mm-hmm. He's sitting out. He's taking the wrong approach, and he's pouting like a big old baby, like a petulant child. All you got to do is work on your jump shot. That's all the Sixers is asking of you, and you refuse to work on your jump shot. Joel Embiid is waiting for you to come back and help him out.
Yeah.
And then the general manager there, oh, yes, that's right. It's that guy, Daryl Morey. Yep. The guy that wants a lot in return for him. No, Ben Simmons is not going anywhere anytime soon.
Okay. And Joel saying nobody?
Yeah, so I said nobody. And my caveat to this is the Ben Simmons thing. Yeah. And I don't know if you guys follow Allen Iverson on Twitter or his social media. Mm-hmm. He put out a thing the other day saying how badly he wants to be a part of the 76ers organization. So my thing, my thing is, bring AI onto the staff. You'll have Ben Simmons. You'll get him for 25 games in the playoffs. Yeah. Make him stay. The trade the 76ers should do is bury the hatchet with AI, get him on the coaching staff or some kind of capacity with the team, and you can bring your guy back.
Yeah.
That's the simple answer there. Westbrook is a joke. He should have never been brought to the Lakers. You can't get anything for him. AI is a commodity in Philly. His words are stronger than a first-round pick, a sign-and trade, a max cap exception. Let AI talk to Simmons, keeping it real, give a fist bump, a handshake.
Yeah.
Bring Ben Simmons off for 25 games in the playoffs, and the Sixers could challenge the Heat, the Nets, the Bucks for real, especially because there's another topic here that we're going to have before the end of the show that I'm sure a certain individual will be cast upon, and y'all know what I'm talking about.
I don't want to talk about this topic because I don't want to give out too much information to the topic he's talking about, sir. Um, so I'm gonna hold my peace just for a little bit.
Oh, he's holding it out.
So, to be honest, I part of me, I sat and I thought about it. A couple of days, I'm watching the games, and I'm like still seeing the same thing over and over again. I'm like, yet again, he's just sitting here. He just don't look comfortable in his offense. And then when he does look comfortable, they still lose. And then when LeBron is playing, he drop his 30, they still lose. And so part of me is like, I could see Westbrook possibly being on the move. The Ben Simmons, I already know they're not moving. Daryl Moore is not budging. He's not budging from that at all. But my thing is, it's like we talked about earlier in the show. I talked about mental, right? I always talk about mental toughness. And when you talk about with Ben Simmons and him being mentally tough, right? From the way he played last year in the playoffs against the Atlanta Hawks, and the way they just the crowd, the way they all just did him in and game out, and even to the point where the media even started saying stuff about his game and things of this nature. Man, that messes with you, man. It really does. It messes with you. Now, I'm not making this as an excuse. I'm not giving him an NBA player an excuse for why he should not be working on his game when he has 24 hours in a day. 7 of those hours you're practicing, don't know what you're doing the other 17, don't know why you're not in the gym working on your jump shot, right? But I will say that they're not going to budge. And I really do see this kind of weighing out for the rest of the year. Maybe in the offseason, they may make a move. I do feel like at some point, potentially, Russell Westbrook will be on the move. To where? I have no idea. Don't really know who would give up the mortgage for him at this point. But that's kind of where I'm at with that. I kind of really do feel like that. But, since everybody had their talks in about the Russell Westbrook and Ben Simmons, let's get on this topic here, man. Let's talk about the 3-game losing streak and just the up and down year, man, that these teams have been having. So we're going to talk about what's wrong with the Lakers and the Brooklyn Nets, man. What's wrong? What's going on? What's going on with them, guys?
I'm going to go with the
pressure is on them to win. That's what's going on.
I'm going to go first. Hold on. Because I applied for a reason. Listen here. Listen here. It's not how you start a season. It's not. It's how you finish the season. The Lakers came in this season with championship aspirations. They wasn't trying to come here winning 50, 60 games in a regular season. That's not the goal. That's not the goal. They came in the season banged up. Trevor Ariza was hurt. THT was hurt. Kendrick Nunn was hurt.
Freddie sounds like a broken record because this
on this show. I need
over and over.
I need that excuse button on the show. I got to find a buzzer for that.
That's not an excuse. 13 games LeBron missed.
Okay. Facts.
Due to the little stomach, whatever he got going on. Got suspended.
I think I've just realized that Lakers fans are worse than New York Yankees fans.
We are, but I'm not one of those.
AD went down.
Okay.
Everybody went through the COVID situation.
Okay, that's fine, but the Lakers still.
Hold on, Jonathan. Hold on.
Let Freddie finish the point.
Now, look where we at now. AD comes back. By the way, he's been dominant ever since he came back. He gave Joel Embiid that business. 32, 12, and 4 blocks, by the way.
Yeah.
And when he comes back, look who's gone now. LeBron.
Yep.
So I'm not worried at all about the Lakers. Just know this. When LeBron come back and this big three gets time to play with one another.
This is funny.
Parade, here we come. We come with it take what's ours. You mean to tell me, name a team that can beat us in a 7-game series with our big three? I'm waiting.
are you schematically you really want me to go there? Schematically, if we want to go there, let's go there, right?
Oh God,
we obviously
somebody's
know
about to be buried.
Yeah, we obviously know LeBron can give you 30. We obviously know this, right? We obviously
30.
That AD could give you 25 and 8, 9.
Now 28 and 8.
We go with that. That's fine. You want to go Russell Westbrook? Russell Westbrook could give you what? He'll give you 30 one game. He'll give you 20 another game. He'll give you 7 points another game. You don't know what you're going to get out of Russell Westbrook. And if being honest,
we don't need much out of him.
Let's just say the truth, right? Let me just say the truth. Let me just say it for what it is. LeBron can no longer take a back seat and wait until it's time to turn it on to get his team going. He can't do that anymore. And it's evident. It's clear. It's clear as day he don't have it in him anymore. AD is as soft as Charmin tissue. Okay, if you touch him by the arm or you touch him by the kneecap, he fall over and he's out. Gonna be out 2 or 3 games at a time. The boy is soft. I don't know what he does in the offseason. I really don't feel like he work on his game like he should. But that's my truth. That's my truth. So when you when you ask me this question, do I see anybody going at them in a 7-game series? I don't even think they would make it to 5. If we're being honest, I don't think they make it to 5. I don't think they have it in them to make it to 5.
My brother, you got to realize this. You got to realize this. We don't care what Westbrook do. We don't.
Then why did they trade for him?
Listen, Jonathan, just to get us through the season. Westbrook can get us through the playoffs. Watch, he's about to, him and AD are about to go on this run. Listen, long as LeBron is giving us 28 to 30 points a night, and AD's giving us 27, 28, doing what he's doing, and the others
are we not talking about 2022?
We're about to trade THT. He's about to be gone, and we're about to get somebody that can come in that role.
Who? Oh, please. Hold on, Joe. Oh, Freddie, I need to know. Who are you getting? Who is this magical puzzle piece?
I want him to finish so bad. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. This is great. This is great TV, right?
Who's that puzzle piece?
We're about to see them put the pieces together. And
what's my corner piece, Freddie?
Work. This is what we do. One thing about a LeBron James-led team is that I know he will make sure his guys are ready. I will not ever count that man out.
Are we at a funeral? I feel like we at a funeral.
It's not about how
wait a minute.
Start. It's about how it's finished. You mean to tell? Pump the brakes, you guys. You guys act like the season is over. It's not.
It is.
It is just getting started for us.
Yo, Freddie, I think you're sniffing that powder that LeBron is throwing up in games, dog. I mean, I don't even know at this point. Like,
so Damon, do you believe LeBron is the GOAT?
I have delusions of grandeur about my New York Mets, my Notre Dame Fighting Irish, my New York Islanders, my Miami Dolphins. My delusions of grandeur are great, but man,
do you believe LeBron is the GOAT?
If you're in Cali, I want to know the shit you're smoking that gives you this. Like, we're not talking about 18 to 21-year-old LeBron. I mean, man.
Let me take my mic out so I can get the.
Man is the GOAT.
Do I believe
Jonathan? I know you. Go ahead, man.
Hey, do I believe LeBron is the GOAT?
Michael Jordan is the GOAT.
No, I'm asking Dave, is LeBron the GOAT?
Absolutely.
If you believe this man is the GOAT, you put your trust in this man's hand that he can lift these guys up and take them to a direction they've never been before.
The GOAT driving truck has Giannis at the front.
He needs more. He needs
other guys knocking his ass over.
He needs more production from his supporting cast.
And he's going to get it,
He's
Jonathan.
not getting the
You know why?
production.
You know why? This team is old. You know why? He'll get it more in the playoffs? Just because in the playoffs, the game slows down. You don't.
But this is LeBron's team. LeBron is the man who brought almost every individual on this roster.
And
so this team is LeBron's championship. Expected to win.
At the end of the
even had Anthony Davis go to his own agent to facilitate a trade.
And I want my damn respect. Get this man his damn respect.
The Lakers are the new Rodney Dangerfield, son. No respect. They get no respect.
Right.
You're
crazy.
So to end this topic, Everybody just give a yay or nay. Do the Lakers make the postseason? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
they
Yes.
do.
All right, so we're going on to this last topic here, guys. So obviously we're watching the season, and we have a different opinion on these different guys, I'm sure. But I'm hoping that we all can come together with this one. I'm just curious. I'm hoping we all can agree on this one. So, who is your NBA MVP thus far?
Let me jump on this one, fellas.
Who you got?
Ja Morant. Unequivocally. I mean, when you look at the West, and you could put his stats, it's like almost 27 points, 6 boards, 7 assists.
7 assists.
He's shooting 49% from the field, almost 35% from three. Yep. All the stats aside, just the way he has led this team, Phoenix, Golden State, and oh my God, sorry, Freddie, it's the Grizzlies, and your Lakers are nowhere to be seen. And Ja Morant, over the last couple of years, has been building. And to see him do it without an AD, a Kevin Durant, without a big three, and to do it individually, it's amazing. And some people may say Steph and all the normal guys who come up in conversation.
Yeah.
But Ja is a guy who's legit, man. Who's done it. And to lead it the way he's doing it, practically by himself, that shines
He's
MVP.
not doing it by himself.
You're the most valuable player of the team and the league, and you can replace and put puzzle pieces with Kyrie, with Durant, with Harden, with AD, with LeBron. We can make all kinds of puzzles any way to put a winning team together. If Ja Morant is not on the Memphis Grizzlies, they are the Deadpool in the bottom.
Didn't they go
11-3
without him or something like
Freddie, please remove your glasses from your face and realize what is happening in the NBA right now. No, LeBron is not the MVP.
I didn't say LeBron was the MVP.
Don't even go there because he is not favored to win the MVP. He is not the best favorite. Okay, well, let me finish first, okay? Let me finish.
Before Jonathan.
My favorite to win MVP is Ja Morant. That boy can ball. He is quickly taking over the league. Okay? If you watch his game, I don't know how many Memphis Grizzlies games you watched this season, but if you watch his game, he is must-see TV. He is absolutely box office.
John,
and you should have seen. You should have seen, because I know you watch every Laker game. You follow the Lakers that closely. And I know you seen him the way he balled against the Lakers.
Yep.
Okay. If for Laker fans, it wasn't pretty because Ja Morant wasn't afraid to attack the basket.
No.
He was doing anything he wanted to the Lakers. He was getting any shot he wanted from different directions and from all angles on the floor. I mean, this guy is just relentless. Okay, I praise him for his hyper athleticism. He's definitely has emerged into one of the top point guards in this league. There's no question about it. You're seeing what he's doing. He's already drawing a comparison to Allen Iverson. And this guy has found every way to create shots for his teammates. He's a very unselfish player. He knows when to shoot, so he doesn't take ill-advised shots. He's a great player. He's dynamic, very explosive, probably the most explosive player in the NBA.
What?
He is definitely good for his creativity and his playmaking abilities. So he has all of those things working for him. He has all the tools of an NBA basketball player. And right about now, the way he is kicking, in the NBA right now, he is my favorite to win the MVP. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I rest my case. Mic drop.
Yo, he's NBA Jam on fire.
He's not the MVP.
Hey, you know, it's funny. Joel mentioned that because when I wrote my John Morant column back in early January, I said he was on NBA Jam Fire.
He's
so
not
there
the
you
MVP.
go.
He's not
Great
the
minds
MVP.
think alike.
He's not the MVP because the MVP can't go hit when he's away from him when he's hurt. His team can't go 11-2 without him. He's not the MVP because y'all
But
must
the
not watch
MVP is a
Memphis
regular
games.
season award.
That team
Remember that.
is loaded with talent. The MVP of the league is Joel Embiid by far. He's the only person on his team that is carrying that Philadelphia 76ers team. This dude is averaging 29 points a night, 10 rebounds, 4 assists a night. This dude is being dominant. He's not just doing he's doing it on the inside now, mid range, all over the court, leading his Philadelphia team. They're one game away from being a top 4 seed in the East. It's John Morant can't touch that.
Freddie, wait, I gotta ask you a question. I gotta ask you a question.
The radar though.
I gotta ask you a question.
We expected that though.
When you look in the Western Conference, and you say John Morant, Steph Curry, blah 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 blah. When you look in the East, I don't even. You got to look at Jimmy Butler. You got to look at Giannis. I think John Morant stands far above anybody in the West. Where you're talking about Embiid, and he's battling Jimmy Butler, and he's battling Giannis, and I don't think he's better than both of those guys.
Because you know what? Yes, Joel Embiid is battling against more talent than John Morant is.
So LeBron's not talent now, apparently. Russell Westbrook's not talent, apparently. Anthony Davis isn't talent, apparently.
So the John Morant, I'm with y'all. John Morant all the way. The Joel Embiid thing. Here's why I'm knocking it, because Joel literally pointed it out and identified the very thing that I said. I was about to point out, right? When you talk about competition in the East, you're looking at the Jimmy Butlers, you're looking at DeMar DeRozan of the Chicago Bulls, you're looking at Giannis yet again, and then it's like when we get outside of that, it's kind of like in the West, he's literally playing against top point guards day in and day out, night in and night out. Yeah. You talk about the Suns, you got Chris Paul. You want to talk about, Steph Curry. We can talk about the Warriors. We can go up the entire top 8 seed. And I can guarantee you that the point guard is literally neither top tier or damn near close to it. So for me, competition is definitely more fierce in the Western Conference. So I'm definitely going to give the nod to John Morant for to be MVP. I feel like that'll be a story moment, because outside of, you got 3-and-D Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks get buckets. He does the dirty work, right? But when you talk about mentality, you talk about attitude, you talk about intelligence, you talk about things that you can't coach and you can't teach, that team follows, like I said about Joe Burrow, that team follows John Morant's attitude. They all have took his fearless attitude, and it shows. It shows even when he's even not in the game. And you pointed out that they went 11-2 with him out being out. Did you not also see that he was also on the bench during that 10-2 run too? That 11-2, he was also on that bench as well. So even though he wasn't playing, he was still there coaching or helping them out. So it's
that takes away from his MVP run.
Huh?
And that takes away from his MVP run when your team can still win without you. You take Joel Embiid off that Sixers team, they are a first round pick team. They are.
So are the Grizzlies.
No, they're not.
So
have you watched the Grizzlies?
Are you?
They are loaded from 1 to 15. Have you watched them?
Nah. I really want to know, man, where you're dreaming this stuff from.
You guys, wait, who's the two that we just added?
That's what a typical biased Laker fan look like.
Jonathan, I can't help that you went to the Golden State Warriors, that you just switched to Laker fan.
You're just mad because I call it like it is as a Laker fan.
And he's just saying the truth. He's just saying the truth. That's all.
Real. Yep, and that's the name of this show. Just say the truth. So I just keep it
all right.
real.
So guys, we had a wonderful, wonderful show tonight, man. Just say the truth. We talked about a lot of different topics. Obviously, the topics got a little heated, but it was all fun. Enjoy the debate. Definitely back in with us again. We back again Friday at 8 p.m. Check us out. We got more in store, and yet we're gonna also got some deep topics to talk about as well as we start diving into this Brian Flores situation even more. Who knows? We may talk about Mr. Hugh Jackson, who also came out and talked about some things on a podcast.
Gentlemen, nothing but respect tonight. It was fantastic. This is the way it should go. Open forums like this. Nothing but awesomeness. And I can't wait to join you guys again, man. All respect for all of you on this panel tonight.
Yes,
Oh yeah,
indeed.
much love.
Great
It's going to
respect.
get heated. It's going to get heated. This is what it's all about.
That's the way it
Tristan
is. It's not sports talk.
Hey, Tristan, give us your MVP real quick. I know you ain't let me late.
Yeah, I was on I had to be a special guest on another show talking about the Washington Commanders.
Okay.
So it ran a little long. You
Oh, the
hear how that
commies.
came out of my voice. But my MVPs right now for the NBA. It's got to be John Morant, man. It's got to be John Morant. I mean,
we can all clap to
listen.
that.
The thing about it is when you're looking at what he's doing, and early on I probably would have said LeBron. I mean, for everything that he's doing at his age, the mileage,
Okay.
but the injuries are starting to creep up on him. He's been missing games. John Morant is not only giving you box office spectacular plays, John Morant is closing games.
Yes.
He's closing games.
Yes.
The Grizzlies are
sure.
where they are right now because John Morant is the one handling it at the end of the game. So it's got to. You said what?
Minus those 11 games they won without him.
Listen, and I had that argument with somebody else on another show. I understand that, but listen, the buck starts and stops with John Morant right now for the Grizzlies. If John Morant, God forbid, knock on wood, if something happens to John Morant, he had an injury, the Grizzlies are immediately irrelevant. Immediately.
And hold on, and now that I'm thinking about it, who was the MVP last year? Giannis, correct?
Nope.
Yep.
Okay.
Joker.
Jokic.
Jokic. I'm sorry. The year before, when Giannis won MVP, let's check the record when he wasn't playing. I'm curious because I'm pretty sure the Bucks were winning without him being.
They were still winning. There was
they were
actually
still
a discussion. There was actually a discussion whether Giannis out of the lineup was better than with him in it. So that's very true.
I just want to make sure that I wasn't tripping. I just want to make sure that we all point that out.
That's it.
Melvin, what he's saying is that LeBron could be the MVP the way he's balling.
He could.
Let's be honest. Most years, LeBron do deserve to be the MVP.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, he's 37 years old. He's almost
that
averaging
shiny
30
genie
points a
lamp
game.
and
It's
wish
crazy.
for 3 wishes. I guess all 3 of your wishes would be LeBron is MVP.
No.
Come on
My goal is
God,
to
the
become an MVP.
LeBron love is just way too much.
No, not really.
I seen that read at the bottom with the KD. Hey Melvin, I'm with you. If KD was playing and Brooklyn was top 3, top 2, that's my vote. I would definitely agree with that.
So why you don't give love to Joel Embiid to having a team a top 4 seed by himself, no Ben Simmons? I mean, why no love to him?
Because the Bucks.
It's you know what? If we're being honest, if we're just saying the truth, right? We're being truthful about this, right? We all know the accolades, MVPs. It's all storyline. It's all what is the biggest storyline, right?
John Morant.
The biggest one.
The biggest storyline has been what John Morant has been
John
doing.
Morant.
Grizzlies. He's been the storyline. So you got to ride it out, though. You got to ride it out.
And the simple fact is this. And you know what? And here's the thing with the Embiid thing, guys. He's always said, trust the process. So we've always thought that he should be doing bigger things. Yeah, he may be doing big things this year, but Morant is doing bigger things than the process has ever done. This is kind of what we expected from Embiid. He should be the process. He should be leading the team a la Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
Ja Morant is basically, he don't have a big 3. He doesn't have a Ben Simmons. He doesn't have anything like that. And he is elevating his team to the 3rd seed in the West. When Embiid is doing the things he should have been doing and should have shut up about, but yet bragged on social media. Oh, the last Ja Morant social media post I saw, was about him going to see his grandma and letting his play on the court talk for him. Not a social media post about, a great win in Philly and Embiid celebrating. That's
You
it.
better be glad
Period.
social media wasn't big with Michael Jordan. You better be glad. You're very glad. You should be very glad.
All right, guys, we'll be back. We'll be back on Friday. Friday, same time.
Peace out, y'all.
Just say your truth.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a place. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.